What's up, everybody, and welcome back to this election special. No, I'm only joking, it's not an election special.
Definitely not an election special.
This McInnes marketing special on Vancouver first-time homebuyers.
There's a lot of that happening right now.
Yes.
That segment of the market is being pounced on.
Yep.
So we wanted to go into costs that may not be upfront in your face about the actual first-time buying process.
Yeah, we've noticed an uptick in first-time homebuyer activity ourselves, other colleagues that we've been speaking to in the industry as well. And one of the points that we always do is we always have those discussions with first-time homebuyers on the additional fees that come to light. And I think a lot of them are items that they never even thought of, to be honest.
sure.
And most of them are very manageable. It's just being aware of them beforehand to plan for. So these are costs as well that are not just like down payment associated or mortgage associated. These are the other little things that come into it as well. So the property transfer tax is one of them.
So the property transfer tax, if you're a first-time home buyer, meaning you're purchasing your first, there's a lot of additional detail to what that means, but in a nutshell, purchasing your first home in, let's say, Vancouver, you haven't owned before, and you're going to use it as principal residence for at least 12 months. So under, I forgot what it is now.
Under 500.
You are exempt from property transfer tax. There's a sliding scale from 500 to 525, and then you are fully expected to be able to afford the property transfer tax post pricing of $525,000. You want to tell them what the property transfer tax is, Benjamin?
The property transfer tax is 1% up to the first 200,000, and then 2% up to, I think it's about 2 million.
Do you want to tell the nice people why we have to pay property transfer tax?
Just spilled my coffee all over the
Good,
place.
because the government doesn't have enough money. That's why we have to pay it. Moving on. So there is a sliding scale there, but yes, in Vancouver, the first thing you're going to say is that's going to be very difficult to try and avoid. That's not really a benefit because pricing, which is very true, it used to be lower. They upped it, I think, about 5 years ago to what it is now, and hopefully they up it again or exempt it in full, which I don't think they will, but that's what it is today.
Yeah, so essentially if you buy property for $600,000, you'll pay 1% on the first $200,000 and then 2% on the remaining $400,000 as well. And something to be aware of. The other thing is property tax. Especially those of you who are buying condos, it's easily escapable, but the property tax, if it's already been prepaid by the owner,
which usually it is,
you will then have to pay back the owner the portion that they've already paid that you're going to take. So it's literally done per day. So if you're purchasing 100 days in to the property tax period, then you will be responsible for refunding those 265 days that have already been prepaid by the existing owner/seller.
Yeah, so similar along those lines, but not quite as expensive, we'll say. A cost is Strata Fee. So
yes.
If you buy on November 15th, Strata Fee is property transfer tax typically paid a year in advance. So to your point, obviously you're paying for the difference of the year that has been paid for. You're paying back because you're going to be living there. Strata Fee, same thing. If you complete the 15th of the month has already been paid in advance. You're paying the duration of the month that you're going to be in the home, obviously. And these costs are going to be laid out very clearly through statement of adjustments at the lawyer or notary office that you're going to sign off on. So all this is going to be very clear, but same thing with the Strata Fee. You're going to pay that difference that you're in the house.
Yeah, and there are also a few costs associated with actually moving into a property. I'm not talking about like the cost of like a U-Haul or something, but most first-time home buyers, especially in Vancouver, are purchasing condos. So it's important that you check the rules and the bylaws, because most will, one, require you to book in a time to move into the building and book an elevator, and two, a lot of people charge a move-in fee and a move out fee as well. So that's typically put on the statement of adjustments as well. And some buildings will also charge a security fee during the move-in, because they want to make sure that one, there's no damage, and two, there's no shady activity happening to the building while doors are being opened, closed, people coming in and out. So those move-in fees are typically a couple of $100, I'd say, a couple of $100.
Either end, yeah.
Yeah.
200 to 300.
And then the security fee is probably about 100, 150-ish, depending on the building. But it's important you check these because these are all little additional costs which add up, which can kind of take you by surprise if you are not aware of.
Yes, one other thing that isn't along these lines, but still a cost, and something I find that gets kind of backburnered often, is property insurance. Mm-hmm. So you've all heard a lot of noise in the last handful of months about insurance rates going up, strata insurance rates going up, meaning strata fees going up. So when you get your own insurance, so the building has its own insurance coverage covering the building, the common areas and all that, and that's what's been in the news lately that we've had the increases on, which has been passed down obviously to strata fees increasing by various ways. In addition to the building's insurance, you need your own insurance, so to cover your own square footage, of course your own unit, and additionally a very common one, especially with these inflated prices, is deductible insurance. Mm-hmm. So deductible insurance is if you flood your unit and it goes down, there's a water deductible on the building's insurance that needs to be paid, so your insurance can in turn pay the deductible for the building's insurance to in turn do the repair. So very important. This is in most contracts anyway, the standard verbiage that you can check and make sure that you do get and can get insurance on the specific property. That's usually in place in the subject period. A lot of people forget about it. One easy thing you can do is obviously just call your current insurance provider or others, or what you can also do is ask the seller, who's the seller using for insurance. Yeah. That company is already familiar with the building and this unit, and you can talk to them directly and say, I'm taking over, what are the costs? It's also very important.
And on the insurance, one of the things that we suggest, quite often a question we get is, how much insurance should I get covered? Where should I start? When you purchase, especially in a condo building, you will get a copy of the insurance summary, which will list the amount that you're insured up to, the deductibles. Take that schedule and speak to a broker, whoever it is that you're dealing with, who's going to provide you insurance, and show them the level of cover in which you need as well. Because you want to, especially now with the changes, you want to make sure that you're covered up to the proper amounts, and the best way to do that is to look at the active policy as well. I think that wraps us up for our additional cost for first-time home buyers.
I think that's it, other than the obvious, like you said, moving and internet hookup and all that fun stuff. Yeah. But those are more the hidden costs or the kind of back-burnered costs. On our last week's, we don't have any updates yet on
the tolls. No. We were looking, but there's been nothing released yet.
They're supposed to meet on
November 3rd, yeah.
2 days ago now. Yeah. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. The second most important vote of that day.
Yes, very true. I'd say it's the first in my life.
The first in your life? Yeah. Okay. We'll keep you updated on that, guys. But thank you for joining us again this week. Take care, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.